Hello everyone, and welcome to Divine Debut. Thank you, my dear Patreons, for your support, for being here. This is your full moon reading, which will be happening, as you can see on your monitors. Well, in Greek time, it will be early in the morning, 2:54, on the 21st of September. UTC time, it will be happening at 23:54. So 6 minutes before the day changes. So it's on the 20th UTC time. Okay, full moon means a culmination, an ending, a closing up of a cycle. Remember, full moons are when we've got the moon and the sun in opposition. That way the moon, which doesn't have its own light, reflects the sunlight. The moon being dark and mysterious and secretive, does take the light of the sun. So things that have been hidden will be seen. The moon does speak to our intuition. It speaks to depth. It speaks to secrecy. The moon has got a lot of meanings, and of course the moon does speak to our subconscious, our emotional self. So our emotions, we know with full moons, because we know that the moons affect the tides, affect water, and we are made up of 70% of water. So full moons are quite emotional, It's where the pressure rises, our pressure rises, and we're more, that's why we get more emotional, and we know, we sense that there is something that is completing, something that is pressuring us, something that's pressuring us, pushing us to the limit, if we can use that term. And the fact that it's at the 29th degree, which is the anaretic degree, makes it an even more powerful emotional moon, full moon. Full moons do speak to endings. After endings come new beginnings. We've got a full moon now. We had a new moon a couple of weeks ago when the moon was back here with the sun. So as the sun and moon conjoined in Virgo, we have the new moon, then the full moon, which is on the opposite side. So on the same axis is where the new moon happens, and then the full moon. Okay, so that's how it works. So we usually look at both sides. So we're looking at Pisces, the archetype of Pisces and Virgo, because they do come together. This is like a climax, the full moon, something has filled out. It's done as much as it could possibly can. Just like with taking a breath, you take a breath inwards, you keep the breath as long as you can, and is necessary, and you've got the ability to keep that breath in your lungs, and then you have to exhale. That's how I feel a new moon, or a full moon, I should say. The full moon would be when we inhale and we filled our lungs with oxygen, and then we exhale because we relax, right? When our lungs are full, we're not relaxed. There's a matter of urgency. That's how the full moon speaks to me. Now, Pisces is the archetype of surrender, of compassion, empathy, sympathy. Pisces is water, and therefore water is very sensitive. It's very intuitive. It's very magical. Pisces is very creative. Remember that Pisces is one of the most, if not the most, I would say the most sensitive of the water signs. Remember that the moon rules Cancer, so we've got water with water here. Now, obviously, as I said, we have to look at what's on the other side, on the same axis. We've got Virgo being practical, discriminative, goal-orientated, well, very grounding, and hardworking and being of service to the world. Remember, Virgo is more practicality. It's earth, and well, both Virgo and Pisces are mutable signs, so they've got the ability to change, to fit in, to mutate, to fit their environment. The only difference is that Pisces is more about dreamy energy. It's not something based in reality. It's what we imagine, what we dream of. So pay attention to your dreams where you're going to have very potent dreams. Remember that Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune is the god of the seas. So much water, so much illusion. Remember, it's impossible to be able to speak or get your message heard when you're underwater. So there's a blurring of the energies, right? Neptune is also prayer. It's magical. It's godly. It's the ethers. It's what we believe in. There's a sense of expansion, with Neptune. There's no ability to stop the expansion with Neptune. There are no boundaries. Okay, and Pisces can speak to unity. We are all one. Okay, unity in love at a very high level, right? On the darker side of Pisces, as those of you that are familiar with Piscean individuals, they've got no boundaries, and sometimes they sacrifice so much that they get hurt. They get used, and that's why sometimes they can come across as quite sensitive. And this full moon in Pisces is very mystical. Think of the 12th house, which Pisces rules in the natural horoscope. It's quite a mystical, dark place to be in. Now, very psychic, but we can be very confused. Pisces is not of this reality, even though it's strong in intuition, but it's very dreamy. Okay, it still has that. We're still with the 12th house. Well, I should say the house of Pisces. It's very much about the unconscious. Okay, this full moon with Neptune, especially, everyone. As you can see, the ruling planet of Pisces is relative to this full moon, and having Neptune on this full moon, this can speak to two things, because as everything, there's the yin and yang, right? Neptune, as I said, could be very dreamy, very sacrificial, very compassionate, but on the other hand, could be very, and it can speak to a strong imagination or dreaming of something, but does that dream does it have the ability to manifest, or does it stay in a dream state? Remember, Neptune, which rules Pisces, Neptune can be anything that we create, anything that is created. It's air. And when I say it's air, just like how airy fairy, don't they say? Something that is not based in reality, something that is just like a cloud, which can be an illusion. It can be very confusing as well. Now, this full moon with Neptune on it can speak to either mass confusion of the collective unconscious state. On the other hand, it can speak to us being able to see through the illusion, because as I said, the moon takes the sunlight and therefore reflects things that were hidden. And having Neptune on that full moon, remember that even in the tarot, the moon card can speak to secrecy and things that are hidden and deception